without this judgment upon themselves.
They are just lost. It is our place to guide. I've watched you kill each other over race and greed. Wage war over dust and rubble and the words in old books. And yet, in the midst of all this darkness, I see some people who will not be bound.
I don't even believe in God.
Well, that's just fine. Bobby doesn't believe in you either.
What's up, everyone? Back with a part 2 of the Giants, Titans. I'm going to be talking about, in the Bible, it states in Genesis 6, 1 through 4. It states in Revelations 17:8 that they will return. So I was watching this movie, Jurassic Park, and I always forget to put this in my videos. And it states the Giants will return. And since, I always thought they're digging up all these bones. Well, why do they want to dig up all these giant bones? Well, I was watching a Jurassic Park movie, and they were digging up the Tyrannosaurus Rex bone, where they cut a sample so they could get the DNA from it so they could make their own dinosaurs for weapons. So it made me think, man, movies always put the truth in it. So let's check it out.
There she is, the Indominus Rex.
Just thinking outside the box, as always. I seen this clip the first time. It really didn't set in right away until I was going through Revelations, and it said the Giants will return, and it made me think about cloning and how they're always digging up these and finding giant bones. The Smithsonian is covering it up, and it just makes me think they could be making armies of giants, and these scientists in Area 51, that's what could be going on, and who knows? But we can't prove the giants existed. Proving their return, I can't do that, but I can prove they existed. That's one thing. I was just thinking outside the box when I saw that Jurassic Park movie. Now, they've been digging up bones, and there's stories from the native tribes, indigenous people that lived on Turtle Island, the red-haired giants. And I've read a lot of articles that are also, what word could I use? They're trying to say they, it's false, stories so they can push their evolution. We came from monkey BS. So, I'm gonna, as you can see here, they got pastings of articles. I'm gonna read a few articles, because right here I got this map right here that I dug up. That look at over here in the East Coast. There's so many giants that they found. It almost covers the map. So I researched. I dug deep, read a lot of articles, read a lot of web pages, and yet my information was kind of disappointing, man. I didn't find what I was looking for, but I still don't give up. I didn't find any giants that I thought they would be in the size I thought they would be. This is what I found. I have yet to find an article or a story stating a giant that was taller than 14 feet. As you can see in this picture, I can't say that name. And the other one's the European guy that's like 6 feet. So a lot of these tribes that were in Turtle Island were taller people. Between 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, all the way to 12. And occasionally you get a 13 and 14 footer. But still, these are tall people. But no 30 feet or skyscrapers. Now, there's evidence of mud fossils. I'm going to show you some pictures right here. So check it out. So through my research, I found a lot of mud fossils. So I still don't give up hope because I watched this YouTube channel, which is very good. This guy Roger on Mud Fossil University. And he can prove that, at least he says he can, that these giant or Titan type, mountains were once the Titans. He said he can take samples from these mountains and prove with the DNA in samples that these were Titans. I'm not going to doubt the guy because he has a lot of evidence. If you go watch his channel, I've been watching it for a few years, and he has some hardcore evidence. And none of the universities want to, take in his work because they know they're pushing that evolution crap. A lot of scientists will state and say it's weathering that caused that face on the mountain, or it's the plates under the ground that collide and cause the mountain range, or the formation of a rock, or it's the long weathering of weather that shapes these stones. Well, I'm not disagreeing with that. Okay, yeah. A mud fossil is going to go through aging and all that through the years. Just like when it rains on mud, it's going to move the land. Okay, yeah. Or they call it pareidolia, the tendency for incorrect perception of a stimulus as an object, pattern, or meaning, known to an observer, such as seeing shapes in the clouds or seeing a face in an inanimate object or abstract patterns, even compared to apophenia. So what they're trying to say is, when we look at these, it's like looking at an abstract painting and you're picking out what you see. You might see something different than the next person. But in my eyes right here, I see an elephant. Okay? So, just like the next picture, I see a petrified, or not petrified, mud fossil. That's what I see. That looked like an elephant to me when I first seen it. That's the first thing. I didn't even have to look at the capture of the picture. The caption, sorry. So, I couldn't find evidence hardcore of Titan, like big, giant, huge. I got a picture in one of my videos of a backhoe and the two guys with that huge skeleton, and I read an article saying that picture was fake. They did a lot of faking back in the day so they could bring people to their town. That's believable, because that shit still goes on today on the news every day. Lies, lies, lies. So, hey, I'm not putting that past. Let me know what you guys think. Are those pictures photoshopped, or do you think that those are real Titan or giants? I think some of them big heads could be a giant that was 13 or 14 feet tall. Take two shacks and stack them on top of each other. If I had Photoshop, I would do it just to show. I'm going to see if I could dig up some pictures of a 14-foot guy compared to a 6-foot guy. Because that is a big difference. It might not seem like it, but man, it is a big difference. So these pictures here are probably guys that are 8 feet, 9 feet tall. These weren't in America or Turtle Island. These were overseas. A lot of these pictures after the mud fossils here, like these, are from overseas. The picture of the lady in the mountain back there, that was the Sleeping Lady, and there's a lot of mountain ranges called the Sleeping Lady. There's a lot of sleeping ladies. Um, so, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think about, giants and titans? What do you think's a giant? Do you think the titans existed? Personally, I do. I really do think those mountain ranges were giant people, just as well as you could see one of those pictures where a woman's, I don't want to say it because children could be watching this. These pictures right here of the mountains, whoever turned them to the side like this was brilliant. So now you can see the faces. I thought about that when I seen a lot of these mountain ranges. To turn it to the side, I was going to do it myself, but instead I found this beautiful picture. So we'll use this. It really brings out the features of these mountains and what people see. Look at this giant footprint. Now, I remember when I was a kid and I seen cement or wet rocks, I used to like to put my handprint or my little footprint or write my name or anything. So who's to say these, giant people or animals didn't do the same? They, like, when we were kids, they kind of stated that these tall people were like dumb. Personally, I think these giants were brilliant. I think we get a lot of our technology from our ancestors. Or I said a lot of it. We get all of it from our ancestors. That's how I see it in my perspective. I think we're dumber now more than ever. And I'm not trying to put no one down. It's just we've been dumbed down a lot, man. And that was by design. So we must break out of that. Research, question. Don't be scared to ask questions, especially if you're a student in school. Ask questions. Challenge your teacher. Don't be scared. Challenge. That's what life's about. To get to the bottom. Like if your teacher says these stones were created, they look like elephants, but that's what the earth naturally did. I would challenge that automatically and tell my teacher I disagree. Pareidolia. That word will always stick with me because that's basically what they're saying when you look at this picture. It's pareidolia. That was never a face. You just think you're seeing a face or, Like this picture here I found, I thought was pretty interesting. That animal is I can't think of the name now. I'm gonna have to go look this animal up now and put it in the caption because it's at the tip of my tongue. Something dola. Armadillo, sorry. It's an armadillo. They got petrified mushrooms. And this next picture here was brilliant. Whoever lined that up. I think that's brilliant to show. People would say that was naturally created as usual. That's the best answer these scientists could come up with. Or it was man-made. Our old world was probably a lot more magical. What we call magic was technology. I just had to throw that in there. So, mud fossils exist all over this plane of existence, but we're being told otherwise. That's why I like to challenge and question. And I always get a lot of slack for challenging and questioning things and not just taking things for face value. I get ostracized a lot, but that's okay. That just goes to show that I like to think for myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like to question. And I'm going to bring up this article that I found before I end this video. This article is amazing. This guy found a giant femur bone from a human. And it was evidence in the court case where Smithsonian admitted to dumping thousands of giant bones into the ocean. Check this out. During the court case, new elements were brought to light as several Smithsonian whistleblowers admitted the existence of documents that allegedly prove the destructions of tens of thousands of human skeletons reaching between 6 feet and 12 feet in height. A reality mainstream archaeology cannot admit to 4 different reasons, claims AIAA spokesman James Churchward. There has been a major cover-up by Western archaeological institutions since the early 1900s to make us believe that America was first colonized by Asian people migrating through the Bering Strait 15,000 years ago, when in fact there are hundreds of thousands of burial mounds all over America, which the native claim were there a long time before them, and that show traces of highly developed civilization, complex use of metal alloy, and where giant human skeleton remains are frequently found but still go unreported in the media and news outlets, he explained. And this is the picture. A giant human femur uncovered in Ohio in 2011 by the American Association for Alternative Archaeology, similar to the evidence presented in court. A turning point of the court case was when a 1.3 meter long human femur bone was shown as evidence in court of the existence of such giant human bones. The evidence came as a blow to the Smithsonian's lawyers, as the bone had been stolen from the Smithsonian by one of their high-level curators in the mid-1930s, who had kept the bone all his life, and which he had admitted on his deathbed in writing of the uncovered operations of the Smithsonians. Sorry. It is a terrible thing that is being done to the American people, he wrote in a letter. We are hiding the truth about the forefathers of humanity, our ancestors, the giants who roamed the earth as recalled in the Bible and ancient texts of the world. The U.S. Supreme Court has since forced the Smithsonian Institution to publicly release classified information about anything related to the destruction of evidence pertaining to the mound builder culture and to elements relative to human skeletons of greater height than usual, a ruling the AIAA is extremely enthused about. I thought this last article I read was some strong evidence, proving that the Smithsonian was covering up truth, was covering up probably the tribes that lived here that were of 7 feet and taller. So I want to know what everyone else thinks about my video, and what do you think about giants? Are you religious? Do you believe in Genesis, Revelations, or, what's your perspective on all this? I want to thank my subscribers. I want to thank everyone who watches my videos, comments, shares. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And until next time, everybody be safe and keep your head up, stay focused, and question.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.